Imagine stepping back in time to the 16th or 17th century. No cars, no factories, and no modern conveniences. Life back then might seem simpler, but one thing would be immediately striking: the smells. Unlike today, people rarely bathed and washed their clothes infrequently. Without access to the detergents and soaps we use, clothing often retained the smells of sweat, smoke from hearth fires, and general grime. You'd walk into a room or pass someone in the street, and a mix of unwashed bodies and the scent of whatever work they did, like leather tanning, baking, or blacksmithing, would hit your nose. Natural fibers like wool and linen were harder to clean back then, and they absorbed odors from daily life. The result? Clothing would smell musty or earthy after days, even weeks of wear. The lack of deodorants or perfumes for everyday people meant that body odor was much more noticeable than what we're used to today. Inside buildings, the story was similar. Without air conditioning or modern ventilation, the air was often thick with the smell of smoke from fires, burning candles, and oil lamps. Even the furniture contributed. Wooden floors and walls absorbed moisture and smells, while animals like horses and livestock were often kept close by. Outdoors, though, the experience would have been very different. Unlike today, where pollution and industrial smells dominate, the air would have been fresher and cleaner. You'd notice the smell of damp earth after rain, blooming flowers in the spring, and fresh crops in the countryside. But in cities, the streets were often littered with waste, human and otherwise, adding unpleasant odors to the mix. Imagine sitting in a crowded theater. The audience would be packed together, and with the lack of frequent bathing, the combined body odors of everyone could be overwhelming. Theaters didn't have the same ventilation systems we have today, and the smell of sweat, stale air, and possibly even food from vendors would fill the space. Fast forward to today. Thanks to modern hygiene, detergents, and cleaning products, we live in a world where odors are managed and minimized. Air conditioning, scented products, and clean water mean that smells are much more controlled. But back then, the human experience was raw, with the natural and often unpleasant sense of daily life surrounding you everywhere you went. Now, imagine how you'd feel stepping into that world today. Our brains, specifically the amygdala, have evolved to react more strongly to unfamiliar and unsettling environments. Being exposed to the grime, dirt, and death that was once a common sight on the streets of the past would likely leave us feeling panicked, disgusted, and even overwhelmed. Modern life has conditioned us to expect cleanliness, order, and hygiene in our surroundings. So, encountering the raw realities of the past would likely trigger intense reactions. Your sense of disgust would be heightened. The pervasive smells of unwashed bodies, animal waste, and untreated illnesses, combined with sights we no longer encounter daily, would likely push your anxiety levels higher than what people of the 16th and 17th centuries might have felt. Your natural response might be one of panic, your body alerting you to the danger in an environment filled with germs, unsanitary conditions, and open wounds. While people of the past grew accustomed to these conditions, our modern senses and psychological makeup would struggle to cope. In a way, the 16th and 17th centuries were defined by their smells. It was a world where scents told the story of life, its work, its hardships, and its environments. Perhaps that's one part of history we're happy to leave behind. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more historical explorations.